You are ready to go.
All right. So, good morning, everybody. It's the day after Thanksgiving, but I'd like to just mention what I think is important is there are actually a lot of things that are really, really, really important for Thanksgiving year, not just Thanksgiving Day. And I'll start off with a little quote from Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers, who you may remember. And he said, the real issue in life is not how many blessings we have, but what we do with our blessings. Some people have many blessings and hoard them, and some have few and give everything away. Don't hoard your blessings. And my take on that is live in the abundance and not in the scarcity, because there really is a lot to be thankful for in the abundance. So Thanksgiving started off like year 16 something, and it was when the Pilgrims and the Native Americans of the Wampanoag tribe sat down to have a meal, and that's how this actually started off. But I wanted to take this now and see just exactly where we've evolved to with this Thanksgiving thing. So I'm going to divide this into a little section. First of all, I'll say about the company that we have, that is Nu Skin, Pharmanex. And, you know, you think about that, we take all of this for granted. You know, we pick up the phone, we call the call center, we speak to a scientist and so on. But actually, it's 36 years of trials, tribulations, successes, and failures that have got the company to where it is today. And, you know, we should just bear in mind how much sweat, blood, and tears have gone into all that. And Scott, are you recording? I don't see it recording, just saying. So
we're live on Facebook. So it's
okay, so 36 years of experience. And, you know, think about just how much effort it takes to actually get a company to where it is one of the top 100 most trustworthy companies, mid-cap in the US. That's huge. So, you know, we take it, we use it, we take it for granted. We shouldn't. We should really appreciate what we've got. 350 products, the whole marketing system, you know, we're in 50 countries, over 50 countries. The whole synchronization of distribution centers, call centers, getting everybody to, all the staff to be able to speak in a coherent way with all kinds of different questions that people have in all kinds of in all kinds of different countries, different languages. You know, this is huge. It's absolutely huge. I'm a former business owner. I used to have about 350 employees, and I can tell you that it's huge to be able to have a really well-run company. And I don't think I ever achieved perfectly well run, but I'm just saying that this is very important. So also from our own point of view, especially think about it, you know, during this pandemic, you know, we've still been able to have a camaraderie. We've been able to concentrate on health and prevention, helping others who are more restricted in what they have. You know, we've got all these assets, like, you know, we take for granted the internet. You know, we take for granted LinkedIn, we take for granted Zoom. Well, I have calls with South America every day. And I can tell you, you know, going in and out of internet, oh, I lost my internet. Someone's halfway through a presentation. We have it here all the time. We've got things going smoothly for us all the time. And we've got the tools with which we can work and really help people and ourselves. And I think this is something that is tremendously important. So we've got a lot to be thankful. I'm talking just about the company point of view and the relationships which we continue to build in our groups, in our teams, and in the whole company. And I think that's something that I'd like to, really give thanks to New Skin for. But there's something even more important, and that is 95% of what the company is and 5% of what the company does. And that's a little thing called Nourish the Children. So I'd like to harp a little bit, or not harp, but I'd like to concentrate a little bit on Nourish the Children. That is the social responsibility which our company has. And, we don't even really realize how impactful that program has, or that program is, on many, many countries at all times. So, for less than $30 a month, which is just like 80, 90 cents a day, we can actually feed a child one healthy meal a day for a month. That's, a healthy meal. It's not just, grits. It's proper meal with enrichment of nourishment, of nutrition, of supplements, of vitamins. It's enriched. And it's very, very good. One of the first things that I did when I used to have meetings here, I used to actually have nourished a bag of Vitameal, and that, instead of having things from Publix and Whole Foods and so on, I used to actually have somebody prepare Nourish the Children, a Vitameal meal. A Vitameal, and we'd all participate in that. And I'd ask somebody to be creative about the cooking and putting different flavors in and so on. And it's really nourishing. But what's important is that we're able to help people who at some time have nothing. So just to give an example, right now we've had tremendous hurricanes going through through Honduras, through Nicaragua and so on. We've had them through Puerto Rico. We in the States, we have a typhoon or we have a hurricane, we've got insurance. Excuse me. We've got insurance. And even though it's heartbreaking to lose some of our sentimental things and so on, but we have insurance. People have nothing. Malawi, I used to live in Malawi. I speak Nyanja, Chichewa as it's called, or Chinyanja. The people have nothing as well. So what we do with Nourish the Children is huge. The company has up to now given over 800 million meals. 800 million meals. Seriously? That's not just, a little something. That's really, really impactful. I remember I was in Colombia one time, and there was a disaster there. And in an area called the Guajira, New Skin teamed up with, or Nourish the Children teamed up with Pies Descalzo, which is bare feet. And that is a program that Shakira has. And I remember New Skin gave about 30,000 meals at that time. And I can't tell you how impactful it was for these people who had this disaster going on to actually be able to eat, to have a meal. In the States, we've now got people who are suffering from not having food. It's unheard of, but it's true. So, I just want to kind of emphasize that Thanksgiving is not just lip service. Oh, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, okay, thanks. I agree. Very nice. But it's much more meaningful than that. And Thanksgiving should be a thing for the year. And the attitude, so this Friday talk is about mindset. It's about attitude. Well, these are all things that contribute to me personally having an attitude of pride, an attitude of being able to feel useful, because of whatever I earn, a small percentage, whatever you want, you can do that on my office. a small percentage or whatever it is, you can do 5%, 3%, 1%, 10%, whatever you want, can go towards Nourish the Children. And I think this is important. I think when we can actually do things like walk the talk, it's about doing things. It's not just about lip service. It's about actually being really walking the talk, being proactive, being impactful, being able to do something. And we can do it. And it feels good. You know, I've always done, not always, but in the last, 20 years or so, I've done what I consider random acts of kindness. What are random acts of kindness? I might be in a restaurant and I'll see some guy sitting on his own and I'll just pay for the meal and walk out. Or somebody's at the supermarket and they're ahead of me and they're going to pay, and I'll just say, just go and I'll pay for that supermarket thing, for what they're buying. Just random acts. That gives me pleasure. But it gives me pleasure to know, and makes me proud to know, that we have a company that is called Nu Skin that is such a blessing to so many hundreds of thousands of people, in fact, millions of people around the world in many ways. We're helping the people by being able to have, excuse me, by being able to have, a decent meal every day. We're able to help our teams by being able to be a guide towards them having independence of time, freedom, and financial freedom. So the mindset that I have is built on things like the company's actions of never letting us down, of allowing us to build our teams and so on, but of also being able to help people that can't be helped otherwise. I remember, I think it was in Haiti, they had an earthquake, and literally within a week, Nourish the Children had a whole bunch of, Nu Skin, through Nourish the Children, had a whole lot of meals there to help the people in Haiti. Being Thanksgiving is something that I think it's a privilege to be able to do good and to act and to walk the talk. So I encourage everybody right now today to look at what you can and make a monthly donation of something, whatever you can. One bag a month is 20 something bucks, less than $30 a month, less than $30 a month. And if we do that with all our teams and we talk to everybody in our team, suddenly we've got thousands of people who can donate even one bag a month, and that all helps. It all contributes. So today I just wanted to, talk about Thanksgiving and the attitude of what that is. I don't want to go on about a lot of different things, but if anybody wants to contribute anything or say anything about this, please do. I just didn't want to make it too long, but I just want to impart with you how absolutely honored and privileged I feel, excuse me, of being part of this incredible company and what it does and what we are doing and even what we can do in our own ways. So I don't know if anybody has anything you'd like to add or anything, please do. Just take yourselves off mute and let's do it.
Hey, Lawrence, this is Jim. And thank you so much for doing this little presentation today. It's interesting what you're saying because, it makes me think that, I need to be more conscious about how I encourage my team members from the minute they start to let them know about this program day one and to integrate it as a part of their overall strategy. Because it is a very fulfilling experience, I think, to be, a consistent and persistent, participant in this program. And unfortunately, we don't have the the opportunity to see those videos like we always do at the forums, and they pass the books and we really see what this is about. And so it might be good. I'll see if I can find the video, maybe post it, today on Healthcare Alliance, because I do think it's something that should be integral to our training. It's really an important training topic as well. So thank you again for sharing that.
Thank you, Jim. And in fact, I happen to know that there is a person on this call who actually shows, and it's right to his heart,
Yeah.
the Talibanji program in Malawi. And Scott is actually on the call, so we could, Scott, if you can post the little videos about the Nourish the Children program in Malawi. Excuse me. I think it would be a good moment to get everybody to be conscious and to start looking very proactively at making some kind of meaningful contribution, and to be guides for the teams to do the same thing. Everybody should at least do something and have a conscience to help to get everybody to do the same. So Scott, if you can do that, it would be great.
Actually, if Scott's available, if he could spend just a few minutes, I think they're very, very important minutes to share with the group, because, the Healthcare Alliance is specifically, unique in that through different funding, we support these families in Malawi that come to train and to learn how to farm. And so I think that's something all of us can take pride in. And also, maybe, since we're not having the forums, Scott's not able to raise that money the way they had through our things. Maybe there's something we could do if he has an idea of how we could contribute to that particular program as well.
That's a good point, Jim. So Nu Skin has basically, what they've done is they took the proceeds from the sale of Vitamil, along with donations from other distributors like us, and they built a school called the Matali Manja Village that's in, it's in Malawi. It's about 8-hour drive from the capital of Malawi called Lilongwe. And this is it's a teaching village. So there's homes, school, hospital, parks. I mean, just kind of everything that you need, but every home has what's called a hectare. It's right around 1.5 acres of land to farm. And it's designed as a teaching village to teach families how to become self-sufficient, both by teaching them farming techniques, financial, agricultural and financial independence. And they do a lot of really, really cool things there. First, they require a husband and wife to be taught together. They won't teach just one or just the other. Trying to help break down some cultural things in that country. They teach them how to rotate crops. They teach them how to use composting techniques and irrigation techniques. They teach them how to grow things more than just corn or tobacco, because traditionally the husband would grow what's considered a cash crop, which is tobacco, and then the wife would grow, the food for the family. But it never works because they just don't have enough land. You can't grow enough tobacco to make a living on 1.5 acres. Not to mention that, what I'm told anyway, I'm not a farmer or expert there, but tobacco will deplete the soil much, much faster. And so it's very hard on the soil. But they, by teaching them all of these techniques, they spend 1 year in our school, and then they spend the second year at their own home, doing the same thing on their own land so that they have, understanding that they can do this, and they've got, teachers that will go to their property and, make sure they're doing things correctly and check up on them. And then they're also in that second year to graduate, they have to teach at least 2 other families what they learned in the first year. And so it continues to spread, by doing that as well. So it started, a little over a decade ago with 35 families a year in our village, is now spread to 35 families a year in our village, plus over 1,800 in the program totally, all in. And so it really is making a really pretty substantial difference in that country and with those people. And the average person that graduates from this school will, number one, they go in growing about 2,000 kilos of maize per year, and they graduate growing just under 10,000 on average. And so they have, extra crop. They usually graduate with a full extra year supply of food for storage and being able to take crop to the market to sell. And then at the same time, they learned how to raise chickens. Most of them have goats or cattle, and they've learned these different techniques to become self-sufficient. And the average, on average, when they graduate by year 2, they're considered a middle-class, self-sufficient family in that country. And I think that's the thing that I'm most proud of with the program, is that they've proven time and time again that they've been able to get these families, on their own feet, and having that pride and that sense of direction and everything there. Jim, we should, as a team, try to figure out what we can do. Typically, we'd have these healthcare forums every month, and we would auction off product, and so that we could, collect donations, for this program. And as a team, for the last 6 years, we have funded a family at that program. Now, this year, we've only had 2. We only had one in January and one in February. And so we came up far short of being able to pay for one of those families. So we need to put our heads together, guys, and see what we can do. Maybe we can do something at our December 12th event in Florida, or even just put something together to be able to collect some donations or something.
Yeah.
Wow, can you talk about the December 12th event? That's the first time I heard it.
Boca Raton.
Yes.
The Embassy Suites.
Lawrence, why don't you say something about it? It's really, Stephen Moore has set it up. I know Mark Bartlett's coming. I know I'm coming. So yeah, 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah, it's the Boca Raton, and it's the Embassy Suites. I'll post that on Healthcare Alliance, and it's important because it's an opportunity to actually hear from Mark Bartlett directly. He's going to be talking probably in 2 different occasions during that day for an hour each time at least. And Scott Bennett is actually coming as well. So it's important because it's an opportunity to catch up and to see what's happening, and to be able to refresh some of our enthusiasm, which normally is what happens when we go to Utah. And at that meeting, at that event, I think it's important also that we think about our teams and each person that we know. For example, if you guys right now look at all the 954 area code, 561 area code, 305 area code, 786 area code. And you look and see how many people you can find in your phone directory with those area codes, and you can Google those area codes. Then we can actually have a really successful event. There was one about 3 months or 3 or 4 months ago, and about 60 people attended that despite COVID. And even though we're in lockdown, well, we have this pandemic going on, you know, taking the necessary precautions and social distancing and masks, which are obligatory, we can still have an event. We don't have to hibernate for the rest of our lives, I don't think, but we should take care. But it's an opportunity, and it's a good one because, you know, new people that have never heard of Mark Bartlett, I mean, he's a really big deal. He's a head of international global research, and he's an immunologist as well. So very worthwhile. And Scott coming there as well. Scott is our leader. Scott is the guy who every single one of us on this team, on this group, is under Scott, every one of us. So, you know, it's important to refresh and to be able to reignite the enthusiasm which we have, but periodically we need a little, you know, a little refresher. And so just to see what's happening in the company, what the new products are, where we're going, what's happening, where are we heading, where is the science going, how is the company doing, you know, just an update. It's like a sort of an annual general meeting or something where we can figure out what's going on. So December 12th, Saturday, and it's at the Embassy Suites in Boca Raton.
So it's just a one-day event?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Is there a flyer that's been produced on this? Or?
Yeah, I'll put the flyer on Healthcare Alliance.
Oh, okay.
We do have a flyer, and we'll put it on Healthcare Alliance. Michael Cook, who's a whiz kid on technology, he's brilliant at that. So I'm going to volunteer Mike Cook, who's I think on the call. I think obviously, yes, he's there. I'm going to volunteer Mike Cook to actually help to do that. So yeah, that's good. And as Scott was saying, guys, you know, we can all do a little bit. We can all do a little bit, even on our own, and we get paid as if we've sold something. I mean, it's not about the money, but even by donating, the company pays us as if we've sold something. I mean, who does that? So
hey, I wonder if you or Scott could just speak to that, because, you know, that could be a criticism from people that say, but you actually get volume or make money from that. But that money is dedicated, like Scott had said, back into the program, if I'm not mistaken.
Scott, you want to take that?
Yeah, so I mean, the idea, honestly, is this is not a nonprofit. This is what they call a for-profit co-venture, and you know, a social responsibility type of thing. And the fact of the matter is that, you know, this may be only, you know, a small portion or small percentage of what we do as a company, but it really does define who we are and what we do. And that's kind of the most important part, you know, to it. And so yes, when you buy and or sell these meals, it does count as volume in the compensation plan, just as if it were LifePack. And so based upon that, you know, really, you know, it's no different, but the design is it should allow us to do even more, because, you know, there's only, if it's just straight charity, there's a finite number that my family can afford to do, you know. But if I can also help support my family in doing it, you know, then I can talk about it more. I can look for ways to help do even more behind it. And so yes, you know, you make profit, I can make profit off of it. The company will also make profit off of it, but they, you know, in turn, you know, use that to fully support the programs itself, because they're spending, you know, well over $1 million a year, just keeping the program going and moving forward and stuff. And that's just their commitment, from their side of things. So it's a phenomenal deal. I did see, I'm not sure if everybody saw the announcement that I think we passed 700 million meals.
Oh, 700. Sorry.
I can't remember actually if it's 700 or 800 million meals. It just keeps tacking up so much. I'm sure you can look at on the website and see a counter somewhere, but the fact of the matter is that we're on average feeding over 130,000 kids a day in 40 countries around the world. So we need to keep it up. It's a phenomenal program. It's something I'm very, very passionate about and excited to be a part of.
So, Jim, just to follow on what you said, looking at the results of what Scott has started with these 35 families at Talibanji to 1,800 people around, that is like mission impossible, doable, done. So the message is, guys, let's walk the talk on Thanksgiving, but let's make it a daily thing. Let's not make it just once a year. Thanksgiving is something that is every day. So my personal message is, we have everything possible. Let's make a difference. So thanks everybody for being on. If anybody's got any other comment, please go ahead.
Yeah, if I could say something real quickly, Lawrence, to everyone. I've been with the company working with for about 10 years now, and I was always impressed with it. I thought it was a fantastic program, but it wasn't until I went to Utah and heard Scott speak about it that I developed a passion as well. And what it is, it's much more than just donating meals, but it changes everything for people in these countries. But it wasn't until I sat down and really thought about it. We hear 650, 700 million. That's wow, that's a lot. But put that in perspective. I mean, I live in a community right here with about my little community, maybe 2,500 people in it. The city of Naples has 300,000. I mean, think of what it would take to feed a community of 2,500 people or a city of 300,000. And then if you actually dissect that number, 750 million, that's enough to feed everyone in the state of Virginia 3 meals a day for a month.
Wow.
You think that have impact? 750, it's just a number. When you start to relate what that really is, it's incredible. It's incredible. Just wanted to add that.
Thanks, Mike. And that's exactly the point. That all helps with our mindset, our attitude, our feeling of pride and why we are in this business. It's not just about us. It's not just about the money. It's a huge, much bigger picture. So thanks, Mike. That's very relevant.
The other thing, big programs for feeding the needy, but many of those programs, as I recall, are focused on providing excess crops that could be just high, heavy carb crops and whatnot, not extremely nutritious crops to those in need. And so that is one very distinctive thing about this program. This product has been highly formulated to create the necessary nutrition for malnourished children.
Yes, absolutely. You're totally right. One of the doctors when I first saw this, and the doctor looked at this and he said, my gosh, this is a very, very complete meal. It's very complete with the ingredients. So let's walk the talk, guys. Blessings. Thank you, everybody. If anybody's got anything else, and don't forget to say a little prayer for Dan Burke.
Oh,
yeah. We absolutely need him to be up and running and to be well for his family, for himself. So blessings to everybody. Thanks for being on the call. And we'll see you next Monday with Scott Bennett at the same time, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Wednesday with Kent, same time, 9:30, and then Friday. So blessings to everybody. Thank you for being on the call.